Manuel, it does look like a crazy week ahead. Hello, Rivard. Hello, Dagoo, One Titan, Jim McCoy, Midnight Smokers, Fred, RW. Let's see. What are the thoughtful words of RW today? To avoid situations in which you might make mistakes. Maybe the biggest mistake of all. True. Just face it right up front. Something I've definitely learned in life. Happy anniversary, Texas girly girl, Mr. Jensen. It's a pleasure. Reading through a number of these, it is ripping fast or quickly. Whoa. Yeah, I don't know if I can keep up. Let's see, Mr. 23441 per Frank, hearing the Parliament contact. They are scheduled to vote on HCL next week, and they have the rate, which I think next week means this week. I think there's a good chance, especially with the chatter going on and Barzani saying, well, it looks like they're going to have to pass HCL within days after the election, which means to me, trying to throw timing, and they plan on doing it before. What makes the most sense, anyways. Clinton says, please say prayers for my wife. Needs immediate surgery to put her stomach back in place, now under her lungs. Sending prayer. We got a lot of prayer warriors, Clinton. Hopefully they will get her done. Gordon Howard, that is a very good suggestion. Say, get your groceries now. Don't wait until the idiots attack in parking lots. We're going to talk about that. Do not let me forget to talk about that today, folks. That would be a tough one for us to forget to discuss, because it does have such a possible impact for so many. Now, I know we need to keep to it. Stay on focus and get to these questions, and I will share the link. Let's kind of do that right now, guys, before I get into anything else. Do not forget, we have, or they have, the ATB silent auction that is now open or opening. Anti-Traffic Bureau silent auction, guys. They've got some amazing stuff, from Freedom Forge coffee to the Mushroom Ladies and mushrooms to you name it. Anti-Trafficking Bureau, saving lives, restoring hope, bringing them home. I am dropping that link everywhere I can think to drop it so that you guys are prepared. If you have any interest, they do have some very cool stuff, and it will probably go at very good prices, and any price you do pay will be going to help against or stop anti-trafficking with our friends over at Anti-Trafficking Bureau. See, Fred said, Mark, called Walgreens, CVS, Publix, Winn-Dixie yesterday. None of them were planning on doing curbside pickup or online ordering starting November 1st. None of them I called. 3 different Walmarts in our area. None of them answered the phone. I would definitely, if you're going to go shopping, the sooner the better this week. And we're going to dive into it. May be preparing with no need to prepare, but you'd rather be prepared than not prepared, not have to worry. No, I haven't seen Halloween being canceled this year. Let's see. Aiden Goodway, driest eyewall recorded history for strongest hurricane in Atlantic. It's a Cat 5 and it's looking ugly. Let's see if we can pull that one. Did I have that one up? Boy, I had a good one on it. I was just reading. Here we go. I have not seen the new picture for dinar recaps. Jamaica's catastrophe bond faces trigger risk as devastating Hurricane Melissa nears landfall, sustained about 175 miles an hour. Torrential downpours produced 15-30 inches of rain with up to 40 inches possible in isolated areas. Very worried about flooding and landslides in the mountainous areas, or pretty much any area, or low lying as well. Hour by hour, it's becoming apparent the impact of Hurricane Melissa will be greater than the impact of Hurricane Beryl, certainly in terms of rainfall and flooding. This has the potential to do far more damage to Jamaica than even Puerto Rico saw with Maria, and that was devastating. I am not in any way trying to minimize that one at all. I'm using it as an example to tell you how devastating this storm is shaping up to be. Of absolutely historic, and we've seen them throughout history. It's not unusual, but it is still a tough one for the Jamaican people. And of course, where does it go after that? RC, I'm not ruling it out, buddy. You may be just fine. Renwife said there are boots on carts at Walmart, Home Depot. Expectations for theft is high. They're preparing for this one. All right, I know we got to get to it. Let's see. Happy birthday to Tim. 6 after. We still have a little bit of time before we dive in. We'll get into the good news and what we do have. One, because I know a million of you guys are going to keep spamming until I go ahead and answer it, and we'll touch on it again towards the end of the news for the latecomers. And it would be nice if you guys would save me a lot of the headache and respond to folks. On the bond side, my last check-in was late in their day yesterday before banks closed. Still showing pending. They were getting ready to go back in, pending a release. They told me that their attorney had informed them not to be too worried that transfers of that amount, it is not unusual for them to make certain everything is 100% kosher at all levels before releasing. So they said, don't panic was their last update. And then they've disappeared. So the bank has been open for hours for them today because of their time zone. And I don't have an answer yet. I am hopeful that means they're kind of busy. But we will see. Don't read too much into it yet. I hear Bo Pony saying that we could be a lot happening October 31st. No, it sounds really good. We'll see. All right, let's get into some of what we're hearing. I haven't heard anything recently on the rupiah, Anthony, unfortunately. Again, and we will try to post it throughout the morning. The Anti-Trafficking Bureau silent auction is let's see. Auction closes November 1st, 11:59. That is Saturday at noon. Saturday at noon Eastern, I believe. So just be prepared if you are interested. Ooh, that bowl looks pretty cool. All right, let's get back to it. In the news, we'll go to Iraq first. We talked about bonds briefly. If I can find the link for the news time. I do have a bank story to read. Let's see what else. We need to talk about the preparations for possible riots and all the meetings that are going on this week for our Fed are going to be some of the things we're touching on. Expert Iraqi bank needs comprehensive reform to free themselves from the restrictions of dealing in dollars. We know, right? I think this one's important, though. They are pounding it into our head that they have made many of the reforms and are tweaking the last few to get all banks out from underneath any restrictions. That's like full and sovereign. Another one of those things we were told when we see that, we see a new dinar. So that's part of that preparation they talked about on their white paper. We know they are making progress towards their goal, their stated goal, making the dinar the father of the dollar and returning it to its former glory. Central bank electronic trading rises to 60 billion. They want us to know that they are embracing these reforms and updating their banking system. And we did have a few more things we could touch on if we have more time. Oil and Gas Committee notes on the ministry's performance calls for a cut. In other words, they're reviewing, they're trying to maximize all oil petroleum, energy-related industries. And some of those efforts, these are all things that they need to do to sustain that value, which is important. They talk about the revenues over 9 months, how much more they're going to be pumping. Already pumping over about 100 million barrels a month and looking to greatly increase that, which means sitting pretty with plenty of money to pay for a new value is what we're getting at, or I'm getting at. I'm going to turn off the banner just so it's not distracting me as we move forward. Wait, let's see. Our area in Pennsylvania at a Halloween parade, and in the Meadville News that a child got a bag of cocaine in the candy. They should do away with handing out candy. Go back. Oh boy, that one's a tough one as a kid. Ideally, you have enough good people, or stick to like maybe the trunk and treats they do at different churches. El Galtz, happy birthday to your husband on his 58th. No, there's no like written checklist, just many of the things we were told would be done or completed. I guess I could start working on a checklist with all my extra free time. That was sarcasm, but I probably should try to start jotting things down for you folks and myself. Yeah, Bernard, I didn't know Hunter lived in PA. Perhaps it was just somebody cleaning up the hotel he stayed at. Oh, look, candy. Threw it in the bucket. Reading a few. I'm got to get to it. My bank of store accounts empty. All right, let's touch on one though, because we do have what I consider to be an interesting one. Let's touch on this one first. Some of the expectations for the week. The Fed interest rate decision tomorrow is expected to be a cut in interest rates. Should help the housing market with a number of people probably trying to lock that in before the possibility of more inflation and higher rates. So, of course, after that decision, we get Powell's press conference, Meta earnings, Microsoft earnings, Alphabet earnings tomorrow. Trump is meeting Xi Jinping on Thursday. Apple and Amazon earnings on Thursday. We have a lot coming this week, a big chunk of some of our bigger companies reporting. So it should give us a snapshot of where the economy is right now going into it or throughout this week. But the most fun is going to be this one. Let's see. I'm double checking to make certain I don't get anybody in trouble to mentally go ahead and edit any names. Okay, going to leave out. All right, now I'm going to touch on this one. A friend in Florida went to a Chase Bank and asked if there was an update on the Narendong. Teller answered, "Oh, that's a scam." My friend replied, "Oh, really? Then I guess I'll stop over there and call my attorney." The teller asked why she was calling her attorney, and friend replied, "Because I bought the currency here." Within minutes, the branch manager and his two bosses came out, ushered her into an office, asking what the situation was. When my friend explained the situation, they all rushed to assure her it's not a scam. They didn't know why the teller had said that it was a scam, because it definitely wasn't. Same friend visited a financial planner at a Wells Fargo branch. She was visiting different banks to try to find a financial planner she was comfortable with. She had a really good conversation with a financial planner at Wells Fargo regarding currencies and exchanging. The gal went so far as to identify which branch location would be handling the exchange for their bank in that city. She also indicated they were very close. I do find that one interesting that one was willing to say, "Well, let me tell you specifically which branches will handle that." And the other one I think is just brilliant that the Chase story. I can't believe I did not think of that one, because same thing. Wells Fargo tells me that again. I bought a fair amount of my currency from Wells Fargo, right? I love that one. Bought a fair amount from First Citizens, the same currencies that they're telling you if what they were telling you is accurate. I love that one. In other words, they called the bluff. walked away with the winnings. Thought that one was just awesome. I was like, that is a good way to kind of have them over the barrel to get real news out of them. Casey hasn't changed one bit in 3 years. Still the same. Going to be the same tomorrow unless something massively changes. I was told 330,000 US dollars per 1 billion in aggregate checks. I hope it's accurate. I still consider a little bit of a gamble, but I figure it's one that was absolutely worth taking for me. We're going to get back to food shopping. Don't worry. After we say happy birthday to Miss 15-year-old Helen, of course. I just thought that Brink story was just fantastic. Let's see. The state of Virginia has played to pay snap out of state coffers. Reading a few of these, I know I got to get back to it. I thought that bank story was just fantastic, and the approach that that lady took was just stellar. I mean, just fantastic. All right, let's get into before I keep going with news, and there is quite a bit to a few very interesting nuggets out there. No news on the Bolivar. I've heard nothing other than we're ramping up, we're moving more ships, aircraft carrier group. I do think there is a major press on to drag Venezuela along for this one. Dylan celebrating his 11th. I know, it's just running. I'm trying to. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Cindy, happy birthday. I'm reading a few of the birthdays. I know I need to get back to it. You have to go back and celebrate the 21st. I don't know if I'm up for that one again. That one hurt enough. Alan. Cheryl, we talked about bonds once already. I'll wait about midway through for other people. We've already done it once. I'll do it again, but I don't want to do it over and over and over and over and over again. So I'll wait a little while before I do it for latecomers. Or if you're worried about it, you can back up. We started a few minutes early today with the news, and you can just go ahead and listen. On any platform, pretty much, but Twitch. Well, one, not all weather is HARP. That's going to be your go. Throughout the recorded geological history of this Earth, it hasn't always been HARP. HARP is not always the answer. Do I think it is entirely too often the answer? Yeah, I do. But keep in mind, storms, hurricanes, historic storms, they've been happening throughout recorded human history. Back when we were still rolling around with torches and open flame fires roasting whatever we could find. Yeah, pray for Jamaica. The a lot of folks are going to need that. All right, let's get to it. Let's do this one first. It started with one of you guys has a military family member, and they are preparing said family member for activation in different areas. And I found it interesting. So I started reaching out to other contacts, both in the government and the military and law enforcement. Much of the, no, I don't have a dog. Neighbor has a dog, which I get to listen to often. Actually, two neighbors have dogs, and they like to talk to each other. It's like that whole like dog bark thing from 101 Dalmatians. All right, let's get back to it. So they are preparing. A number of those contacts are showing active preparation for this weekend and for the next few weeks When I say a few weeks, it's more like a month. We're talking about into about the second or third week of November because they are expecting the possibility earlier because of the reduction of like 41 million Americans in food stamp. Well, I shouldn't say Americans, 41 million people being cut off SNAP benefits. When you do the math, it's only about half of those are Americans. And the others, well, not American, which is interesting. When I started diving into those numbers, it was spooky that we're fighting over it this much because I didn't think they were allowed to get benefits if they hadn't paid taxes. But I guess somebody lied to us. Government lying, politicians lying. I know it's a surprise. Surprises us all. So they appear to be preparing for the possibilities of food riots over this one. And many will just use it as an excuse. It's the possibility. There's a very good possibility this will be settled before then, too. So don't overly panic. But I think it would be, I think you would, well, maybe that's not. I think it would be smart to prepare ahead if you need groceries, etc. You know, you're going to need some next week, this weekend, if you can afford to or in the position to go ahead and stock up. Sit out the crazy if the crazy occurs. More importantly, let's circle back. So it looks like they're preparing early. What do I mean by that? One of the contacts said, well, we weren't going to set up this level of security until closer to all the banking changes in November. But because of the SNAP issue, they are organizing us earlier. And that was like an offhand comment. And then I could not get a response after that offhand comment. I thought that one was very interesting that they were preparing for the possibility they could be deployed for some kind of banking change. Thought that one was really interesting. Joan just said I was telling my daughter and young women to in my family to order online and not go to like Wally World nail telling if they go aren't. I would just go early, be done with it, stock up for a week or two if you can, and sit this one out. It may not be any problem. Manhattan Born, you're getting exactly what I was thinking as they were having that discussion. Mark Jameson, dogs barking, roosters crowing, and loud neighbors and music. I love Latin America. It is bam. Welcome to the new to my world. I like it though. I really do. They're living. In the U.S., so many people are afraid to live. We live on so many restrictions. I mean, we're forgetting to live. We claim we're from the land of the free, but we are forgetting to live. See, Next News Network just reported that 200,000 Americans have signed up to work as ICE agents. Wow. Old woman, I think, is just good old-fashioned Mother Nature on this one. I really do. You look at the formation, you look at the development, it looks like just good old-fashioned Mother Nature to me. I'm not a scientist or a specialist in this, though. Now, I thought that one was interesting. It would make sense that they could, now that the storm's there, they may be able to nudge it one direction or another a little bit. Reading. Buddy, I am not fear mongering. I mean, everybody else is fear mongering. So for me, we have to acknowledge that it's a possibility that they're right. So how do we get to skip out of that? How do we get to not worry about it? Preparation is the absolute best treatment for worry. If you're prepared, you don't have to worry. Hopefully, you understand what I'm getting at here. If you're prepared, you don't need to go to the store. You don't need to worry. You don't have to get into the fear mongering. You don't have to be concerned with it because you're already prepared. So I think not having the conversation would be irresponsible. Matter of fact, I think more podcasters should be out saying, guys, it may or may not happen. We may or may not get riots over this thing. They may be whipping it up as a political stunt, but you want to know how you won't have to worry about it? If you go ahead and do your shopping and you're prepared, then you can just sit out the crazy. That's what I'm getting at. Sit out the crazy. You don't have to partake. HCL updates. I'm glad you said that one. Sounds like Parliament announced they are preparing to pass the HCL in the 2025-26 budget. Joe, massive push going on right now. I think Barzani coming out and saying, oh, we're going to have to do it within days after the election, because most people are very cognizant of the promises for years and years and years that we would see a new rate with the HCL approval. Now, suddenly, we're hearing that they could possibly vote this week on the HCL. I think they're going to I think they're trying to convince people it happens after the election so they can go ahead and do it now. That's what I think's going on. Reading through it is just ripping. Ellie, I'm famine proof. Got about 10 pounds of extra around the belly if I need it. Unfortunately, Ellie, I got a little extra too. And by today's standards, I am thin for an American at my height. By today's standards, by historic standards, that's an extra 10, 20 pounds sitting around the middle somewhere. LSU girl, it's going to be ripping. You just stick around. Seawolf, in reference to your bond contact, anytime I have a significant amount of money being moved into my account, I have a pending for at least 3 days. Now, picture having billions of dollars, billions with B, floating around. I'm not too worried about that one because I understand the mechanics, because as far as I know, we haven't fully reset to an asset bank. So transfers under the existing system will take longer because there are more steps in the proofing. So I'm not too worried about it. At the same time, I desperately want the good news for all of us, myself included, so that we can feel more comfortable with things being done and knowing that we're about to get ours. So I guess it's kind of like that. You're just weighing it. I'm impatient right now. Oh, I like that one, barbecue honcho. I'm too short for my weight. Mama bear, keep the extra middle. Makes it tougher to kidnap me. Plus, they would send me back because I don't shut up too often. You guys are great. I know. I need to get to it, but did I do this one? Did I even do my normal ad today, guys? I probably need to do my ad. Anybody remember? Or I guess I could do it tonight and just remove it. Nope, I didn't do it. All right, guys, I'm just going to remove it from the description and do it this evening. I need you guys to stay on me and remind me tonight, though. If you would be so kind, it would be much appreciated. Thank you, folks, for telling me, keeping track of me. We'll tackle it this evening. We do have the mushroom ladies today. Let's see. Let's do a few more news articles, and then we'll be ready for them. And then I can keep answering questions in chat. Although I could go ahead and do one. Give me just a second on that one. Let's see. Yep. Nope. I'm gonna wait and do it this evening. That'll work better. Dr. J is planning on joining us tonight. Scott or S. Cox. Is it too late to buy a donk? No. I mean, they're going to be selling these currencies until the very last moment. And whenever that last moment is what we're trying to figure out. Oh, wait, Lily Pad, I'm presenting the Mushrooms Ladies products to a local natural pet food store today. That is fantastic. Yeah, if anybody out there thinks they allow affiliates. So if you want to create yourself a job that doesn't require a big investment and you believe in nutrition, mushrooms, definitely quiz them today. course, I only see one mushroom lady today. It may be the mushroom lady instead of the mushroom ladies. I'm looking in the back studio where we all pick our nose when we're off of camera. Well, I mean, last thing you want's a booger hanging out of your nose. Anybody? Not everybody appreciates my strange sense of humor. Uh, Christ, Jesus is Lord. Is this year still in play? Absolutely, 100% in play. I'm loving what the developments are. Yeah, Farmer, where are the beer and bacon sponsorship opportunities? Farmer, just start making bacon and brewing beer. I'm here for you. Somebody, wait, are riots expected the first? We're hearing rumblings. We know that law enforcement, military seem to be preparing for the chance that we could. Probably a better chance that nothing's going to happen. It's going to be a nothing burger, especially with more and more Americans placing the blame on the Democrat Party. And before I forget, let's keep going, guys. We did have some other news. And part of the news will touch on that whole thought of unrest over the weekend, possibly. Argentine markets soar after President Javier Milei's midterm victory. Milei thanks President Trump. The takeaway: currency's already up like 10%. Do you know what that means? That loan, or what was being termed as money we don't have to give, has already made the U.S. an extra $20 million in cash to help pay the bills. That $20 billion in currency, $20 billion set aside as a loan. Value's already going up. Market's already getting up. Man, that's already profitable. All it took was a good election. It is fun watching those changes and the people of Argentine or Argentinian folks supporting the move back to a real democracy, a real republic. I love it. Federal Reserve expected to cut interest rates again this week. That's one of the things we are watching to see how the markets respond. Bounce here. Treasury Secretary warns the U.S. won't be able to pay military by November 15th if we don't get that continuing resolution. Federal Workers Union, here's your big one. This one is going to weigh very, very, very heavily on some Democrat senators, because right now they could have this deal cut. House has passed continuing resolution. Senate, over half of Senate has voted for it. But they need, what is that? I think 4 or 5 more senators on the Democratic side. They've had 3 or 4 jump ship or cross the aisle. They need a few more, and this thing will be done. Rand Paul really needs to get off his butt and cross the aisle on this one. But this one's really big. Federal Workers Union. Unions, big donors, heavily Democrat. So you've got the unions, Federal Workers, heavily Democrat Union Association is telling the Democrats to get off their butts, pass a continuing clean resolution, drop all the extra pork you're trying to throw in there, pass this thing and get it done. Stop holding us hostage for your own political gain. That is going to trigger a lot of talking points today, guys. This is a huge story on its effect on the shutdown. They already know that majority of Americans were questioning them, and they've been out there beating the public relations mules. You know, Brooklyn Dad, Harry Simpson, all the paid for podcasters that they have, or influencers that they have, haven't been able to really pivot this thing to make it look like it's Republicans' fault instead of Democrats' fault. Most Americans still say it's the Democrats' fault, and it's getting worse. And now you have the unions piling on. The political pressure for the left is going to become extreme over this one. I need to clear my throat. We still have some allergies going on here. It's the time of year. It's our allergy season. Not bad compared to the U.S., but still have a little bit going on. My poor daughter has COVID. I haven't seen her, so I didn't get anything from her. But it is ripping across the new version. When I say COVID, guys, COVID was the same thing pretty much when it was rolling around as just a cold 20 years ago, 50 years ago, 100 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. In other words, she has good old fashioned cold with some flu like symptoms. And a lot of people in the States are going through it right now. All right, total side thing. It's getting better every day for Schumer, right? Tim Fu. David, you get it. She has a cold, right? That's what we used to call it when you had COVID. You had a cold. We gave it a new name. Oh, wait. It is going to be mushroom ladies instead of just lady. All right, I know. I got to get to it. Not playing games. Trump responds to Putin testing invincible nuclear cruise missile. Welcome back to the Cold War. Russian President Vladimir Putin on Sunday touted a successful test of his military's new invincible nuclear-capable cruise missile, just a highly agile hypersonic missile that is programmed to avoid more of the anti-missile shields out there, much more capable of hitting. U.S. just pointing out, we test missiles and new systems all the time. Trump saying this isn't really that special. We do it all the time. Plus, we've got nuclear subs sitting right off their coast. We're good. Stop worrying. Mutual assured destruction works, though. Has worked for many years to keeping us out of nuclear war. So when I see stories like this, I don't panic. I'm like, oh, all right. Little chest thumping for the folks in the back. Don't let it panic you guys when you see stories like that. That's what I was getting at. We were told that it would look like World War III right when this was getting ready to go. So I guess what I'm trying to say is don't let it worry you. They got this thing. I think it's time to attempt to sing and turn it over to the Mushroom Ladies and hang out and chat. What do you all think? There you go. Arizona gets it. He's just saber rattling. Just saber rattling. Joshua, I appreciate that, brother. Chad, I have read some interesting stuff lately on just good old fashioned. Maybe, okay, that gave me a thought. Let's see. I got to write myself a note. All right, made myself a note. You guys have me thinking of other things. So they tell me it's your birthday. Well, happy birthday, darling. May you live, may you love, may all your dreams come true. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. All those celebrating. Putin knows we have satellite weapons that will target a super duper missile and I guess know them down or shoot them down in a nanosecond. Putin did point out on that test that they can only be tracked by certain satellites and space-borne systems because of that extreme speed. Yeah, I thought those were some interesting pieces. Why did he need to add that? Kind of makes you wonder if perhaps there are some white hats working together, controlling the or directing the conversations, I should say. Deb, you get it. I keep trying to get people to purge it. Oh, you got a cold. Thank you. Boy, I need to tune up the voice, though. Talk too much and don't sing enough. Yeah, shopping precautions. Tahoe, we were talking about that earlier. It's just my suggestion. If you can afford to do it, shop in the next day or two. The sooner the better this week, and ignore the crazies. I think we're probably going to be calm and safe. But, you don't have to worry about it. If you've already shopped, you already have supplies. You don't have to worry about what happens if it goes crazy next week. And come on, if they take to the streets, do you think this shutdown and SNAP benefits are going to last long when they're already blaming the Democratic Party? No, they're not going to last long. If they do go into the weekend and things start getting ugly, they will quickly pass it. So my suggestion is just, if you can, so you don't have to worry, get your groceries. I'm going to do the same. Not that I think anybody would care enough down here. Cat John, mutual assured destruction. How 3D low conscious? Unfortunately, that Cat John is how most of the world operates, is in that low 3D consciousness. Kathy had more faith in them than I do. They're only worried about the optics. That's all they're worried about. They're just trying to figure out, can they spin this to an advantage or not? And unfortunately, most of the GOP is the same way. I always hate saying that, but it's true. All right, let's bring him in before I keep talking too much. I'll be in chat.
Hey, you know what, Mark? We're starting our 3rd year with you. Can you believe this?
Well, one, that's awesome. And don't you have some mushrooms on
We
the
do.
Anti-Trafficking Bureau?
Actually, we have some Sequoia dog food. We have $120 worth of dog food on that auction. And so far, I think the largest bid is $50. So, man, jump in there and get it. Some really cool stuff on the auction. I'm very excited about it. I went in last night and did some shopping.
Oh, no, there really is some really good stuff in here. I was just looking.
Well, you know what I love? It's down a little ways. It's down a little ways. You know what I love about it is there's a lot of really affordable items. You know, most of the times auctions are these high-end, high-dollar things. There's a lot of really affordable, cool stuff in there, and I'm really excited about it. Like I said, I did a little shopping last night. I'm not going to tell you what I bid on. There it is, right there on the top. There's our Sequoia dog food. It's only $50 right now. So wahoo, that's it's $120 worth of dog food. So yeah.
Might be worth upping that bid.
I hear you. Yeah. Awesome. Well, I know. I take you almost 3 years. This is starting our 3rd year. Kristen, can you believe it?
No.
I mean, it seemed like just yesterday where we were sitting this was our first podcast that we did together. And we sat there in my kitchen, and here we are going on our 3rd year, right? Wow. Okay, so everybody, please go to the auction. Fernando and his team do an amazing job. This is a really cool auction, a lot of affordable, great items, but let's support them. We have a Halloween contest coming on. I have to show you a picture. My dog has some biting issues, so this is my puppy. We call him Hannibal Lecter puppy because
clown puppy.
He's Hannibal Lecter clown puppy. Yes, exactly. Because we have to make sure he doesn't bite anyone. But we're having a great contest for all of you guys out there. Please send us your cute photos of your furry family members. We're going to draw a bunch of winners for the Sequoia dog food, freeze-dried product, or cat food. But these animals, we're going to talk a little bit about Halloween a little later, and what Halloween does to dogs and all that good stuff. But we're the Mushroom Ladies, and I'm Diana. I'm certified in holistic pet care and CBD for pets and people. Kristen is certified. I got it right. Kristen is certified in mycology, and we're both certified in pet nutrition. And we're going to do something a little different today. I'm going to ask Kristen the top 10 questions that we get asked on a regular basis, hoping that some of you guys will also jump in with questions. But Lily Pad, I'm so excited that you're going to the pet store today. If you would email me at the original MarkZ at Gmail, I will send you the stuff that we normally take to the pet stores to show them how this can work for them in a retail environment. It's a written document. So if you want to email me at the original MarkZPets at Gmail, and then we need to get you in as an affiliate, because this could be a lot of fun for you and a little side hustle. So we're here to educate. We love our animals, but we also love our people. We want our animals to stick around longer. We want our people to stick around longer. You know, we owe it to our animals to be healthy for them. And what we're doing is we're on a mushroom mission. We're on a mineral mission. We're on a nutritional mission to get our animals healthy and to get us healthy too. The sad part is that in 2024, January, the American Cancer Society actually said that cancer cases were surpassing 2 million a year, a record high. That's for people. 50% of our dogs are dying from cancer. It makes me sick to my stomach when I think about it. And so what is it? You know, is it the food that we're feeding? Partially, because 95% of our foods are made by the 3 biggest candy companies. Is it the Roundup in the ground? Could be. Is it the environment, the water? I mean, so many different things, the medications, the vaccinations. The point is, we need to do something about it. We can't just keep watching this happen. Our flagship mushroom product is called the Coriellus versicolor mushroom, and we're going to talk a little bit about that today. But my story, I share it every time I come on, and I feel like it's redundant and repetitive. But every time Mark gives us this platform, I get a call from someone thanking me because something just happened in their life. And here's the miracles that happen. Many times I get a phone call that said, I never watch Mark live. I always wait for the reruns, and then I fast forward. I watch what I want to watch. But for some reason today, I watched, and there you were. And my father just got diagnosed, or my sister just got diagnosed, or I just got diagnosed. I can't tell you how many times, almost every single time I share this story, somebody contacts me with an epiphany moment of, holy moly, am I glad I heard this today. So quickly. I had started working with this mushroom, and I had seen some amazing results with animals, and I was kind of dabbling in it and playing around with it, and sharing it with people for their pets and sharing it with people for their general health. And then God's crazy sense of humor, February of 2020, I was diagnosed with colon cancer, and it was stage 3. We were scared. We had made some decisions, no chemo. We had made some decisions early on. And I was told I had to wait 30 days because it was during shutdown, and I had to have a board review me to see whether I was worthy of being operated on. I had a tumor inside of me that could explode and kill me, but I had to wait 30 days for a review board. During that time, I took 10 a day of the Coriellus versicolor mushroom, which is in the green bottle. Why did I take 10? Because 3 would have been normal for my size. I tripled up. I figured, what do I have to lose, right? What do I have to lose? I was scared, and I know that the body will just get rid of what it doesn't need. 30 days later, I got the call to go in for pre-op blood work that I had been approved for surgery. I went in, had the blood work. 14 hours later, I got a call. They wanted to do an emergency video conference with me. Remember, back then, you weren't seeing your doctors in person. There was my doctor with a big smile on his face. He's quite handsome too. And he said, Diana, what are you doing? And I just kind of laughed and said, what do you mean, what am I doing? I'm packing a suitcase to go to the hospital, or am I? What's going on? Why are we having this conference? And he said, you're in remission. And those words kind of rang through me and kind of took me back. I knew they were good words, but honestly, I didn't know what that meant. And then he explained to me that every cancer has a marker, and the doctors use those markers to measure your progress. And in my case, I was off the charts, and my number should have been 2.5, but that day I was 0.05. And he said, again, what are you doing? And I said, I'm taking the Coriellus versicolor mushroom. And I'll never forget his look on his face, it saddens me when I think about it. He's an oncologist. And he said, oh, I don't know anything about that. And I thought, oh, how sad, because in Japan, this is standard protocol. And very sad, 400 medical studies. And you're an oncologist and you don't know about it. And I do believe he's a good oncologist. I had the surgery. I had the tumor taken out. I stayed 0.05 through that whole process. I did decide to do chemotherapy because the numbers didn't lie. The reoccurrence rate with the type of cancer I had was 40% without chemo, 10% with chemo. And then I found the study of all studies, a study from Sloan Kettering that said this mushroom, the Coriellus versicolor mushroom, can complicate some forms of chemotherapy. Bingo, I'm in. 6 months, hard chemo, took the mushroom every single day. I never threw up. I didn't lose my hair. And I came out of this with better numbers than I went into it, which is unheard of because chemotherapy ravages your body. It destroys everything. But this is the beauty of what happened with this mushroom is as I was being destroyed, my body was rebuilding, replenishing, rejuvenating, repairing, doing everything it could do at lightning speed. And when I came out of this, my numbers were better than before I started. My bone density actually improved, which is unheard of during chemotherapy. I didn't look like a cancer patient. Yeah, I had some bad days. I'm not going to say I didn't. I had some bad days, but the majority of it, and Kristen, you were there, you saw me. I didn't look like a cancer patient. I didn't have that pasty, depleted, and most people at the end of chemo spend the next 6 months repairing. I didn't have to do that. I was already ready to go, right? So for any of you out there who have gotten some catastrophic news or some diagnoses, please contact me. I would be happy to chat with you about my journey, be happy to share with you what I've done, be happy to cry with you, pray with you, whatever you need, because I've been there, and I now know that God didn't do this for a little reason. He did this so that I would get my big mouth opened and get out there and share this with the world. So that's my story. I'm gonna do a couple testimonials, and we're gonna interview Kristen. So here's a really cute testimonial. Buddy is the dog's name. And Buddy was really, really sick. I took 10 a day during the chemo. I continued on that. I did that for 1 full year. And then I backed off to 3 a day, and that's what I've been taking. And 5 years, 6 months later, I am still 0.05. My numbers are still where they're supposed to be. Buddy is a really cute little dog who had a collapsed trachea. Really sick, coughing, wheezing, like could hardly walk. They were considering putting Buddy, that they always tell me that's his name, down. And they heard about me, and we got them on our super sauce. Yes, that's the product that I took, Mark. Good job. And here's what I got. I got Diana. This is Yvette. I'm Bryn's friend. It's a miracle how well Buddy is doing. Not only is he back to normal, but he's stopped coughing. He's not shedding. He's able to get up and down the stairs. Holy crap. Do they make this for humans? I loved it. Of course they do. So I ended up talking to her, and she's got some issues, so we're excited. Another one is I shared with you, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 months ago about the little girl who used our body balm on her severe acne. Her acne was so bad. Like you would look at her and it just broke your heart, but you could see it hurt. And she has some disabilities too. So here she is, a teenager. That's awkward enough and hard enough, a girl. And she has bad acne. Double that up with being, partially disabled. So here's this poor little girl who started using our product. Her mom put it on her face. And the first morning she woke up and said, "My face doesn't hurt, Mommy." And it was like, wow, how cool is that? Well, I got a very cute little note from them. She's been asked to homecoming. I know, isn't that the best? They said her skin is almost completely cleared up, that she looks like a normal little girl instead of a little girl with this, what's on your face thing. And that just warmed my heart. It's like that. I loved that. Okay. Petey. Petey's a huge dog. Petey's black and white spotted. He's got that Petey eye. He's so cute. Petey came to me about 5 years ago, really, really in bad shape, could hardly walk. They said it was hip dysplasia. They didn't know what to do. Surgeries were really expensive, blah, blah, blah. Okay. We put Petey on the mushroom. And I got a really cute little message from the owner. 4 years and Petey is still moving like a puppy. However, I was bad. I forgot to order. He started limping. I feel terrible. I'm a horrible dad dog. But now I'm on Smart Ship. As soon as we got our next shipment, Petey stopped limping after 2 days. I now am a Smart Ship customer. And I love that because we need to hear that more often. You don't want to run out, especially when the animals depending on that glucosamine, chondroitin, and keratin for their movement. This is also a good one too. This one woman said that she couldn't get her animal into the carrier to take her to the vet. She had lost so much weight. She had a bloody stool. She was a mess. And then she saw the mushroom ladies. And I'm so glad that the ladies have been on. My little Cannon was so sick. And now I give all the glory to God and mushrooms. And I guess Cannon's doing really well. So I just love these. I get these testimonials and it just warms my heart. I'll finish up with a couple because I could go on all day. This is one that said, I'm taking 3 of these in the morning and 3 of these in the afternoon. This is a person. I had 20 lesions on my brain. They are no longer showing up in my scan. I am fighting stage 4 and I am winning. Holy moly. I mean, gosh, this is a good one. And then I'll end with, I wanted to let you know that my diabetic dog, who also has cataracts, has started to turn into her active self again after the special sauce and the chill doggies. She's been so fun to watch. It's like having a puppy again. She's getting into all kinds of trouble. Oh my, what have I done? So I love that. But you know, this isn't a miracle, guys. It's just something that God put on this planet, and Kristen's going to talk about that. So, Kristen, I'm going to throw out some questions that people ask us all the time, and I think that this would be good for you. First of all, is Mark single? Do you know if Mark's single? I get that Mark, I get that all the time. Do you know, is Mark? I get that all the time. Is he married? Does he have a girlfriend? And I'm like, how well do you know him? Can you hook me up? It's like, okay, that's the number one question I get. All right, so okay, Kristen, so here we go. First of all, you're looking very great. I hear that you're up in Northern Nevada camping, and you're on Starlink, and you're coming through fantastic.
Yes, thank goodness for Starlink, because there is no service out here. Starlink has been amazing. Mm-hmm.
It's great. How do mushrooms benefit us and animals?
Well, what a lot of people don't understand about mushrooms is that this is something that humanity has been using for thousands of years, truly to help keep the body balanced and especially the immune system. And at the time, they didn't know that's what it was doing. They just knew if I put this mushroom in the soup and I was dealing with something, I would feel better. And they knew if they ate this mushroom every day and with some warm water and a tea or something, that they would not get sick as much and all of those different types of things. So we all know that plants are medicine, you know, even mushrooms, even though they're not in the plant kingdom, they are meant to help the body. That's what they were intended for. And everything was intelligently designed that way. And especially the Coriolis versicolor mushroom that you've been talking about, it really is intended to help support the immune system. And we can all agree there is an attack on the immune system happening right now. It is under assault for both people and our pets. The foods that we're all eating, the water we're drinking, the air that we're breathing, all of the chemicals that we're cleaning with and putting on our yards, and even the chemicals that we're putting onto our bodies, right, through lotions and deodorants and just all of the many ways that we're getting this toxic overload and this chemical overload. It's all weakening and compromising the immune system. And what the Coriolis versicolor mushroom does is it's not a cure for anything. It's not a treatment for anything. It's just a whole food. It grows naturally, abundantly out in nature all over the world. And it's just a food that feeds the immune system. And then the immune system is what goes in and rebalances, repairs, rebuilds, resolves, regulates everything that's happening inside of the body. And a lot of people don't know that mushrooms' DNA is actually closest to human DNA. So our bodies know how to metabolize it. It was meant to work together for a better quality of life and to keep that immune system supported. And so I can keep going on and on and on, but there are just so many benefits to all different types of mushrooms. I saw someone talking about psilocybin and, you know, some of the new mushrooms that are getting tested as well that they're intending to use kind of for pharmaceutical purposes as a natural alternative to pharmaceuticals. So there's so many different types of mushrooms that have benefits in different ways and do different things for the body. And again, especially with the Coriolis versicolor mushroom, it's a whole food. It's no different from eating a mushroom on a salad. You can't get addicted. You can't overdose. There are no side effects. It doesn't interact with any medications or treatments. So we want every pet, every person, every day to be eating this Coriolis versicolor mushroom and getting it into their system so their immune system can have the support that it deserves to give them a better quality of life.
I love this. It's a Sequoia dropped. She went from acting sluggish to skyrocketing up a tree. Awesome. But you know what? When you feel good, you do more. And when food, we've seen this happen when you eat better, when you eat healthier, everything starts to change. There's someone in here go ahead, Mark.
It just occurred to me, somebody wanted to know how long you had been taking the turkey tail. In other words, after your original diagnosis before them, you know, you think you're taking 10 a day or whatever, and you think you're headed off possibly off to surgery. He says, look, you're in remission. They want to know how long you were taking them between that first scan and that next one.
30 days. 30 days. And here, you know, sometimes hindsight being 2020, I look back and I wonder, what if I had started taking these a couple years before this? You know, but I'll never know that. And maybe that wasn't God's plan for me. Maybe God's plan was like to boom, boom, slap me in the face and wake me up so that I could share with other people my journey. Because, you know, I sometimes I get mad at myself, like I knew about this mushroom. Why wasn't I taking it? So 30 days from the day I started taking it, I got my diagnosis. I started taking the mushroom like the next day. And then 30 days later is when I had the next set of testing that told me what was going on. We just had someone ask about what mushroom's best for my dog diagnosed with liver cancer and the fatty liver. We're going to answer that in a second. But for the dogs, you either want to go with the Mush Puppies, Mush Puppy Plus, or if they're a really, really big dog, go with the Mush Ponies, because it's a little bit more cost effective, and or the special sauce. So I'm going to ask Kristen a question, but then you can also, we're going to answer this fatty liver and liver flukes question as she explains a little bit more about the other mushrooms that we have. Kristen, why is it that some people call this turkey tail and some people call it Coriolis versicolor mushroom? And why would they want to get it from us and not from the big box store?
Yeah, there really is a difference. And it's so funny because the Coriolis versicolor is its scientific name. So every mushroom that we know of that we buy from the store or we see online they all have a scientific name. So Coriolis versicolor mushroom is its proper name. It's its scientific name. I call turkey tail its street name. Like that's how we all more commonly know it as. And that's because when it's fully fruited, it looks like a fanned out turkey tail. It's beautiful, actually. And so there are benefits to both. When it's fully fruited, when it's blooming, and it actually looks like a turkey tail, it does have a lot of beta glucans, and beta glucans are really powerful polysaccharides that help, again, support the body and the immune system. But beta glucans are very abundant. We get them from a lot of different resources in a lot of the foods that we eat, like a lot of the natural foods that we eat have beta glucans in them. So while that's great, there's what we found and what the hundreds of published studies, actually there are 400 published studies on the Coriolis versicolor mushroom before it fully blooms and becomes turkey tail, while it's still in its mycelial phase. So it just looks like a little white mesh on the ground. That is when it has very, very powerful components called PSP and PSK. These are very powerful polysaccharides that really help to modulate the immune system. And that's why Diana experienced what she's experienced. All these testimonials that you see in these comments coming in the comment section are because it is very powerful when you extract it from the mycelial phase. Not only does it have PSP and PSK, but also the spermidine. And there are just so many more bioactive compounds that really help to give additional support to the body in ways that just the beta glucans alone can't do. So if you or your pet are taking the Coriolis versicolor mushroom, number one, I recommend taking it from the mycelial phase. So using an extraction that comes from the mycelial phase. And a lot of people ask us, well, why are your mushrooms different? I can see them online, or I can go to like the vitamin store and I can see them there. Someone even said I can find them at Walmart. And I always refer back to what Diana said, yeah, but they also sell sushi at the gas station, but I'm not going to eat gas station sushi. And that's kind of how this is.
I want to take advantage of the opportunity, kind of like companies like LifeVantage. The companies out there knock it off. I mean, the packaging, everything's identical, and then they do the chemical. They test it like on Amazon or where somebody puts it, and it's not really theirs. And it looks the same, smells the same, but doesn't have the same ingredients. Doesn't work. You look at the testing, or doesn't work nearly as well. Sources so stinking important.
Yes.
Not just the cost, but the source is so important. All right, I'll go away.
Yeah, for everything though, Mark. We had that story of Harold. Harold had been taking our product. His PSA numbers had skyrocketed, and he started taking our product. His PSA numbers went right down to where they were supposed to. He was doing well, and then he got lazy and forgot to order because he didn't want to be on Smart Ship. And then the next thing you know, he's at Walmart buying turkey tail because he saw it. And 3 months later, we find out that his PSA numbers have skyrocketed. And he's like, I don't understand. It says it's turkey tail. It says it's the same amount. And he was devastated. He was also 94 and he couldn't play this game. We put him back on our strain of turkey tail and it was less than 3 months. His numbers went back to where they were before. And he's now a Smart Chip customer. So we're going to answer 2 quick questions before I ask you the next question. 5 mini Aussies, what's best for their joints and they chew on their paws? You send me an email because we need to talk about that chewing on the paws thing. If they smell like Fritos, it's a yeast infection, real easy to deal with. And that's a very, very common thing. But if they don't smell like Fritos, then we got some mineral deficiencies going on. They're trying to get the minerals from the ground on their feet and then lick them and ingest them. We recommend the antler powder, which is in our wonderful Bucky Bites, as well as natural sourced antlers. In fact, Kristen is up in northern Nevada and they're out on ATVs gathering natural shed antlers, right?
Yeah, a little bit of that too.
Yeah, a little bit of that too. And Kristen did not know that these fell off naturally, which was really a funny. If you'd have seen her face when she found out, she's like, "Wait, what?"
Kind of embarrassing.
It was really funny. But then there was somebody else on here that asked about why is your food better than Badlands?
Of course, you could have been thinking that chocolate milk comes from brown cows too.
Also,
a lot of Americans actually believe that.
Sounds logical to me. I don't know. So, we're not going to say that our food is better than Badlands or better than Dr. Marty's. I'm happy to see that you're not feeding, the #1 recalled food in the nation or the number 2 recalled food that's the #1 selling food, which is the brand that they sell at Wally World. I'm happy to see you're feeding a high quality food. It's just all about the quality. But the one thing about our food that is important, if you are buying any of our Sequoia foods, which are amazing, is check the feeding schedule because it'll look really expensive until you see that we feed less because it's denser. And we've added taurine and prebiotics and probiotics, which cost money that you would normally be paying another $30, $40 a month. Now you've got it here. But what does less feeding mean? Less poop to clean up. So think about that too. All right. And then the woman was asking about the fatty liver. So I thought this might be a good time, Kristen. Explain the differences in our human mushroom. All of our dog products have the Coriellus versicolor, so that's pretty easy. And cat products. But explain the difference in the human mushrooms of what we have.
Absolutely. And before I go into that, Mark really hit on something so important, that sourcing right now is we have to be as aware and diligent as we can with where our products are being sourced. So many products are contaminated, and even though they're not required to report that, they can just say it's this ingredient and they don't have to say where it came from, if it maybe has heavy metals in it or radiation or whatever it might be, impurities, contaminants, toxins, we don't know. So we were very diligent about the way that we grow our mushrooms, as well as the way that we extract them. We use very potent strains that are proprietary to us. There are hundreds of each strain of mushroom. So we have very potent strains and we test them for purity 3 times. We have 3 certificates of analysis on every single batch of biomass that we process, because purity is crucial. If you're not getting a pure product, not only might it not work as well, might not be as ethical, but you might even get an adverse reaction. So that's why we are very diligent with making sure that they are pure, that it's potent, and that we're extracting them properly. So I just wanted to throw that in there. So we do have 5 different types of mushrooms. Of course, our core mushroom is the Coriellus versicolor mushroom. Every pet, every person, every day should be taking this mushroom. I see a lot of questions coming. Will this help with glaucomas? Do you have anything for this type of cancer? Do you have anything for the liver? And, all of these different questions. And the answer is always your immune system. God built your immune system into you. It was intelligently designed to repair, to rebuild, to resolve, to regulate, to rebalance. Everything that's happening inside of the body, that's the purpose of it. So the #1 priority is getting that immune system supported so it can function optimally, getting it modulated, not boosted, not stimulated, So people with immune sensitivities, a lot of times they can't take immune boosters or immune stimulants. This does not do that. It modulates the immune system, which is very different. And so we want to get this into the system as quickly as possible so that you have the immune system working in your favor. It's getting the support that it needs to go to the areas that it needs to address. The immune system doesn't treat symptoms. That's not how it functions. It goes directly to the source or the root cause of whatever's creating those symptoms, and it resolves it there and it addresses it there. So regardless of what you're experiencing with your pet or with yourself, everyone should be taking the Coriolis versicolor mushroom every day. I eat it. It's just a food that I eat every single day. I'm 44 years old and I feel like I'm 23. So
I take it every day. I take,
yep.
Someone asked me, I take 1 per 50 pounds of body weight for maintenance, just for maintenance.
For well-being. If you do have some concerns, either for your pet or yourself, you can even double that suggested amount and do 2 capsules for every 50 pounds, at least for the first 30 days or so, till you can start seeing some differences. If you're dealing with something like what Diana was dealing with, that's more serious, then you can take, 3 to 4 times that suggested amount, that recommended amount, because you can't take too much of it. It's non-toxic. It's very safe. I can eat an entire bottle of it and nothing will happen to me. It's just a mushroom, like I said, like eating a mushroom on a salad. So it will help your immune system get that extra support so it can start functioning and taking care of everything, making all the proper bioactive compounds. And then your body, you can go down to that recommended amount as your body starts changing and as you see results or the measurements changing. Now, the second type of mushroom that we have, that's a complementary mushroom, so we encourage you to take it along with the Coriolis versicolor, is the reishi mushroom. And this is really great for adrenal support. That's what we recommend it for. It's an alkalinizing mushroom, so it helps your body to really work on those cholesterol levels and blood sugar levels and rebalancing those blood pressure levels, all of those types of things with the cardiovascular support. So the reishi mushroom can be very helpful for that. Now, our Inforce Plus that she's holding up, the yellow bottle, has Coriolis versicolor mushroom and the reishi in it together. So you're getting both of those mushrooms together when you do take the Inforce Plus, which is the yellow bottle. That's what I think a lot of people that are concerned about their PSA levels, a lot of them choose to do the Inforce Plus to see how their body metabolizes it and what happens. Now, the next type
of an either or, right? Christmas, you take this, Kristen, this one or this one before you add any other complementary mushroom.
Yeah, you want it because you want to be getting that Coriolis versicolor mushroom as the core, and both of those have the same exact amount of Coriolis versicolor in them. So you can take either one. The Inforce Plus, you can see plus is just an upgraded version of just the Inforce. Now, for the liver concerns, we do have the Inforce Restore, which is the red bottle. This is a completely different type of mushroom called the maitake mushroom. And this complements the Coriolis versicolor mushroom because it specifically supports the liver and the pancreas. So for the one that was asking the questions about the fatty liver and the liver flukes, we recommend taking the Restore along with the Inforce, and that can help your liver get that extra support. We are very overwhelmed with a lot of toxins, and the body's constantly trying to detox, and it can't detox it as fast as we're introducing it into the body. So getting that extra support will help the body to detox faster and do a better job of it more effectively. And the next type of mushroom we have is the lion's mane mushroom. We have a product called Inforce Clarity. And we also have a dog product called the Chill Doggies that has the lion's mane mushroom in it as well. This is incredible for nerve and brain support. I get emotional when I talk about this because we're seeing these cognitive issues, depression, anxiety, dementia, Alzheimer's, neuropathy, Parkinson's, skyrocketing right now. It's just through the roof, but up by the thousands of percents, and it's happening at younger and younger ages. And so we want to get nerve and brain support into the body as quickly as we can. There are so many studies that are being done on the lion's mane mushroom. I encourage you to look those up. They're all available online. You can see these published studies on how the lion's mane mushroom impacts a lot of these cognitive issues that people are dealing with. So we recommend taking that along with the Coriolis versicolor mushroom if you are dealing with any cognitive issues. It's also been found to help maintain a healthy weight. So a lot of people, again, there are so many studies on the lion's mane, you can look it up, how it does that. It's really fascinating when you look it up.
We excuse me to interrupt, but we had a woman who saw us on a podcast, and her family called me and said that the mom, who was only 56, was losing her words. Like she would go to say something to her husband and use his name, and she couldn't remember his name. And it was terrifying. And the family had noticed it before she noticed it, which is usually the case. The family starts noticing something's not right. So we got her immune system in check with this. And then we added this a couple days later. About 4 weeks went by, and I got a call from the family saying, we got our mom back. And she said, I'm not searching for words. I'm sleeping better. I have more energy. At the end of the day, I don't feel like, oh, I need to go to bed and the day's not over with yet. And she said, and then when I go to bed, I go right to sleep. I mean, it was like amazing. And again, it was because of this platform. This is the gift that Mark is giving, is that people are seeing stuff like this and helping themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. And so the next type of mushroom, thank you, is the shiitake mushroom, shiitake, shiitake. And I don't give a shiitake little stuffed mushroom there. And that's funny. And this is in a product called Enforce Shield, which is the orange bottle. And I know that I'm going through this really quickly because we have a limited amount of time, but if you go to markzpets.com, you can actually look at each and every one of these bottles and you can see what I'm saying. So I know a lot of people are like, it's going so fast, but it's just because we have a limited amount of time and a lot to cover. But you can go on the website and you can see everything that I'm talking about. And like I said, there are tons of studies that have been done that you can look up online and read for yourself. You don't have to take my word for it. Researchers much smarter than all of us have found this out. And it directly correlates with what we're experiencing when people and our pets start getting these mushrooms into their system. So the shiitake mushroom is really helpful for cardiovascular support specifically. So if you are dealing with any type of heart or cardiovascular issue, then I recommend taking the shiitake, the Enforce Shield, along with the Coriolis versicolor mushroom. It has a lot of natural antioxidants in it. It's a great source of natural vitamin D. There are even a lot of studies coming out on how it promotes the viral response in the body. And so they're finding, like during cold and flu season, that taking the shiitake mushroom actually helps on a cellular level the body's response to those different types of things. So especially right now, I take that along with I take the Enforce Plus and that every single day, the Enforce Shield every single day. I won't go a day without it. And it has been incredibly helpful for me. So those are all of the different types of mushrooms in a nutshell. Again, go to markzpets.com and you can see them in more detail. Now for children, we do have people that say, my kids don't like to take capsules. They don't like to take tablets. You know, how can I get this mushroom into their system? We do have some kid-friendly options that are also approved by adults. We love them all. We have 100% natural gummies and also chocolate chip cookies. Again, all of our products are 100% natural. We use no artificial or synthetic ingredients in the trace minerals or the simple salts or anything that we use. It's all naturally sourced. So those are some good options to help them. They think they're getting a treat too. They have no idea it's a supplement.
Well, and I think we've also just added oatmeal raisin cookies.
Yes, that's a new thing.
Oatmeal raisin cookies. It's like, whoa. And there was somebody on here asking about taking capsules. I don't like to take capsules. The thought of taking 10 a day almost made me want to gag. These open. The green bottle, they open and it's a powder. I think I invented mushroom coffee in 2020 because I put them in my coffee every single morning with my little mushroom cup every morning. And it was easy for me to take. With kids, you can put them in a smoothie, put them in their applesauce, whatever. But for that woman who has been diagnosed with breast cancer, Faith Family Freedom Forever, please give her our love. Let her know we'll pray for her, but also let's get her moving as fast as you can on this. And it brings me to one other thing. And Kristen, we've talked about this a lot. I had an incredible oncologist who taught me a lot. But one of the things he taught me was that we have to take control. He actually kind of like pulled me aside and said some things that I know he probably shouldn't have said. Do not ask your doctor for permission. They cannot give you permission to take this. If you say, Doc, can I have this? He's going to say no. Because it's not part of their purview. It's not part of what has been approved by the medical association for them. Even though it's made in an FDA-approved facility and bottled in an FDA facility, and there are 400 medical studies, the doctor cannot give you permission. But you can say, because I do believe every doctor has the right to know what you're taking. I mean, if you have the right to know. So my doctor taught me the words, hey, doc, I'm going to take this Coriolus versicolor mushroom. There are 400 medical studies at mushroomstudies.co. Go check them out. If you have any concerns, let me know. You've just let the doctor off the hook. You've given him a place to go. If he's good, he'll go there. He may not. But you've also informed him as to what you're going to do. So that is an important thing. Don't ask for permission. It's not going to be given. So.
Yeah. And same with the veterinarians, you know, and it's not their fault. It's not because they necessarily have bad hearts or they're malicious or anything. They are restricted by their licensing. They are practiced in medicine. They can only give medicine advice. Anything outside of that, nutrition, they by law are restricted from giving nutritional advice. So it's not their fault. And they also, in all fairness, they don't know the brand that you're taking. They don't know anything about it. And some of the brands, a lot of the manufacturers out there, they're not putting out the best product. So they want to make sure that, you know, you're getting something right. So Diana put it the best way, that you just let them know, I'm taking this. Is there any reason why I shouldn't?
Yeah, and here's where you can go and look it up because most of them don't know. So we only have a couple more minutes. So I'm going to end with a couple questions, and I'm going to talk about Halloween. One question is, you know, we're hearing a lot about taking 10 a day if it's catastrophic. I mean, this is a lot of product. And we know shipping costs are rising. Can you talk a little bit about how people can save money with our bulk buying, as well as how they can save money on shipping?
Yeah, absolutely. And if you are taking, you know, again, these are all complementary mushrooms. They play well together. Not all mushrooms play well together, but these 5 actually work together in a synergy. They're all from the same family. They're all basidiomycetes, so they all work well together. However, if you are taking them, there's no like right or wrong way to take it. Again, it's no different from eating mushrooms on salads. It's just like eating any food. You can take them all together at once if you'd like. I like to split it up during the day. So I take 1 in Force Plus, 1 in Force Shield in the morning. Right when I wake up, I take 1 at night, right, one of each at night, right before I go to bed. And some people do, you know, the Restore and the Clarity in the middle of the day. There really is no right or wrong way to take it. It's just up to you. I usually take mine on an empty stomach just so that my body can absorb more of it. It's the only thing that's digesting at that moment. So the body can absorb more of it. But again, there's no right or wrong way to take it. As long as you're just getting it into your system, that's what we recommend. Now, shipping costs are astronomical right now. They really are through the roof. So we do have a program. It's called Smart Ship. And this is just if this is something that you'd like to take monthly, it's something that you can opt into. It's not required. But if you have an order that's over $49 and you opt for the Smart Ship, then you get free shipping on that. And if you're getting the pet food, it's reduced shipping. So you're paying less than half of the cost of the regular shipping. So that's one way that we're taking that weight off of some people, that shipping cost weight off of some people. And the great thing about our Smart Ship, you're not locked into it. It's so easy to modify. You just log in, you can pause it, you can delete it, you can add more, remove items, you can speed it up, slow it down. So it's not something that you're just stuck in. It's really, really easy to modify because we know life is organic and things change and your needs change. And so that's available for you. And we also have what are called alpha packs. And these allow you to buy in bulk. Like Diana said, there are some people, for example, if you're taking 10 of the Inforce capsules a day, that would be 5 bottles because there are 60 capsules in every bottle. So you can buy in bulk with our alpha packs and you can get 22 to 30% of free product, just completely free by buying it in bulk. So we recommend that for people that are dealing with things, or sometimes people think of a lot of people that they know in a community that might need to try a lot of these different mushrooms. And so they'll buy it in bulk so they have that free product to be able to share.
Yeah, it really is a great way to buy, and I do appreciate that. Rheumatoid arthritis, we've seen some amazing results with the Enforce. We've got a girl who's allergic to mushrooms. 4 years now, no flare up. She's been able to resize her rings, which, you know, for those of you that are dealing with that rheumatoid arthritis, that's huge. And so I'll end with the Halloween thing, but first I just want to mention one thing. So Kristen, you and I sat here 2 years ago, almost to the day, and did our first MarkZ podcast. And that night, I got a wonderful email from a lovely woman named Nancy Joe. And Nancy Joe was in bad shape. It was bad. And bone cancer, blood cancer, multiple hip fractures, horrible. Her numbers were 84 when they should have been 24.5. And when I talk numbers, I love that we have factual numbers that we can watch. It's 2 years later, and she's traveling the world, and she's doing so well. And she has no evidence of cancer in her body. Her hip fracture is healed. She's not using a wheelchair or a walker. Her numbers are 24.5. And all I can think of is, Mark, thank you. If you hadn't given us this platform, you know, people like Nancy Joe and Chuck, and I can go on for hours. They would, I know, it's just like, yes, hallelujah. Okay, let's talk Halloween real quick. Kukla, bless her little heart, is putting up on the Telegram room a little poster for Halloween. It is really important what's happening. We got trick or treat coming up. We got all these kiddos going to be bringing all this candy and stuff home. And basically, Halloween, do not feed your pets. It's coming up on the Telegram. Do not let them eat chocolate. Do not let them have raisins, grapes, apple seeds, no candy, especially sugar-free, and peanut butter. If peanut butter has xylitol in it, it can kill them. As well as now they have renamed xylitol birch sugar. Doesn't that sound healthy? So this is going to be up on the Telegram room. Kukla is always so helpful. Mark, I don't know what you would do without Kukla. She's amazing. And so this will be up on the Telegram room. Print it out. Put it up in your cafeteria at school or at work or something. If we can just save one animal. Also remember, these people are walking around with crazy costumes on. These dogs are scared out of their minds. So a little chill doggies will work wonders to chill the doggies so that they don't go after somebody and bite them because they're in this crazy costume. In closing, I thank you for this platform, but all of you that are in this platform, I have gotten so many new friends, and I can't even tell you what it's meant to me. We do have our affiliate program. So many of you have joined the affiliate program, are out there making a difference. Like Kristen and I say, be a voice for those that don't have a voice. We want to disrupt. Yeah, let's stand up. Let me see your shirt.
Be a voice.
Yeah. Make a difference, right? We are disrupting the pet industry. We are disrupting big pharma, and we are helping this platform. We do a lot of donations. We do a lot of charitable work because of what you guys do with purchasing. So go to markzpets.com, make some purchases. Let's end this month strong for our group so that maybe I can even go in and do some more donations for Fernando. And Mark, again, thank you for all that you've done, and thank you for our 2 years. Kristen.
Yes, I see this comment. That's very important. Do the chill doggies work for cats? We have to address this because the chill doggies actually have a calming blend of ingredients for dogs, which includes organic catnip, which is exciting for cats and stimulating for cats, but calming for dogs. So I do not recommend giving the chill doggies to your cat.
Although we are working on a calming kitty product, and we hear this a lot. In the meantime, get your kitty a little nipster and let them run around and play with the nipster, because that has some catnip in it, and it'll just make them go wild.
I just visualized her giving her kitty some of the chill doggies and practice like jumping off the walls.
Yeah, really. Oh, thank you guys so much. Thank you, Mark. We appreciate you.
You are very, very, very welcome. Texas born, happy birthday. For the rest of you folks, I'll see you this evening with Dr. Jay Caprietta at 7 p.m. Eastern.
Oh, bye-bye.